Good evening.
How goes it, Mr. Pankert?
All good, all good. Two things. First of all, I'm confused. Normally, I'm on the left side and you're on the right side. What happened?
I think left is right and right is first, whatever that means.
But look, I can change it. Fabulous. As simple as that. The other thing is I'm expecting, or we are expecting, a record-sized audience because until like I think 5 minutes ago, I was teaching. You know that? Our audience probably doesn't know that. I'm teaching twice per year, and I'm teaching project management. And at the very end, I shared this link with my students. So that is the audience.
Good job. Let's get to it.
Yes, but before we start, I want to celebrate and acknowledge that Mr. Malhotra over there is back in Berlin and again somewhere else.
What? Yeah, I think this is now the fourth city that I'm doing this from, which is pretty cool. But no, I have I want to say beautiful Berlin outside, but it's more gray right now. But it's still good to be back.
Yeah, there was some hailing today. I was like,
yeah, it was.
But what? Yeah, we want to get to it. What is happening today?
Yeah, as always, quickly about the format. What do we do on this show? We talk about all the latest, hottest, most interesting news that we have found over the last week within the world of sports and technology, and we present it to you. Along with that, we will show you a product that we reviewed, that I reviewed actually while I was in India. I had a lot of fun playing cricket with my buddies. We found some cool tech products in the cricket space, which, Ben, I'm dying for you to try out. And then our +1 of the week, or 1+, depending on which phone you have. That is our interesting story of the week. So that is the flow of the show. With that, let's get to story number 1.
Yes, and I believe it is me presenting that topic, right? All right, let me bring this up. Here we go. We are talking about FitBit. To be a bit more precise, we are talking about a wearable that FitBit has launched for kids. I have to say, I was not aware that FitBit is actually doing trackers for kids, and don't understand trackers wrong. So it's not like that you try to find those little guys and girls somewhere. It is actually a normal Fitbit tracker. It is the 3rd edition, as I believe, the Fitbit Ace 3. I totally missed the other 2, but they came up with a new edition, and we thought, hey, that's reason enough to showcase this on our nice little weekly show. So what is this Fitbit tracker for kids? Just a few insights for you. First of all, it has become bigger, it has become brighter, and to keep those little ones engaged and motivated, it has a touch screen now. The main features are unchanged, so it's typical stuff. It's step or activity tracking, sport monitoring, and which I think is very cool, sleep insights. So if you as parents are wondering how long your kid sleeps or how well your kid sleeps, then this might be the right thing for you. And something that I found very cool, and which leads us to the gamification part of this whole thing, it has new animated watch faces. So there are spaceship, Martians, animal characters, and the more you work out and the more steps you make, the more they grow and change. So you're really motivated as a kid to actually move if you're not anyways moving because you are a kid, right? But of course, Fitbit is building in all those gamification and motivational factors in their device, as they typically do. So you have a bunch of rewards and badges, and you can even have family challenges. So you can have a little challenge with your parents or with your siblings on who exercises the most, who is fitter, who moves more. So like in an early age, they already get used to those mechanisms that are built in everything, basically, in our times. And what they're emphasizing on this article, or when they launched the product, is that of course the pandemic has an effect on children as well. So there is a tendency that they are moving less due to the pandemic because they're home so much. So let's say they're trying to sell this as a device that makes you exercise more as a kid, which I would do in the same way. Yeah, one thing before we finish this topic is that what I didn't know either, there is one main challenger for Fitbit in the kids market, which is the Garmin VivoFit Junior. So this trend of big fitness companies competing for the audience and for customers already starts at a very young age, which I find interesting. And yeah, Ron, I want to get your opinion on this. First of all, I guess you won't find it surprising that they're already battling at that young age. And what do you think about those mechanisms? Do you think it's really cool to already use them on kids and like tie them to them, or like do you say, hey, it's actually good because then they're moving? I think they're anyways moving.
Yeah, I think it's more about the parents rather than the kids. I think the kids might have some novelty factor about the toy. I mean, maybe a kid is interested in a watch and that's about it. But the parents, to get the information out of it. I think the most interesting one from the article I found was the fact that this device does not have a GPS tracker, which I thought Fitbit could have easily put in. I mean, that's a safety angle. Maybe would have helped sell the device a bit faster as well. But maybe there's a security protection angle. I thought that was an interesting one because they could have easily thrown a GPS in and say, hey, know where your kid is, but they decided not to. So, okay, we'll see how it goes. But I think it's all right. I think it's a watch. And it's not bad to know a little bit of data while you're wearing something.
Yeah, fair point. I'm also surprised, but I'm anyways surprised that there are not too many trackers or wristbands in the Fitbit portfolio that have actually GPS. It always surprises me.
Yeah, they've just, it's only on the higher end, so maybe that they wanted to keep the price lower, which is probably why. But I think parents would pay a lot for security, you know, so they could have easily done that. But hey, maybe there'll be a Fitbit Kids 3 or 17 or something, which will have all these bells and whistles.
Maybe for babies at some point, right?
Maybe it will.
All right, topic number 4, because we're always doing our little countdown, and then it's time that you take over afterwards. I'm going to talk about the second topic as well. Here we go. It is about measuring fan engagement with biometrics, which obviously sounds super fancy and interesting. Okay, let me give you the breakdown. So who does what with whom? It is initiated by Extreme E. What is Extreme E? I have to admit I did not know them before. To go with the Wikipedia text, it's a FIA or FIA sanctioned international off-road racing series that uses spec electric SUVs to race in remote parts of the world, such as the Amazon rainforest or the Arctic. That itself is already super cool. Like imagine you're racing with electric SUVs in some remote parts of the world. I definitely have to check what they're doing there because I didn't do so before. Now they are partnering with MindProber, and MindProber uses cutting-edge science to measure viewers' engagement, so the fan who is sitting in front of a TV, and then do a bunch of predictions. Like one of the more business-related ones is if somebody will continue to watch your stream or your content, actually. So what do they actually do? And this is, I think, shown very nicely here with this little device, and also said here. They use discrete handheld sensors to gather high-quality galvanic skin response signals. That's a mouthful, but what they technically do, you have to take this device into your hand and they can measure how you react to the content that you're seeing on your TV. As you can see, we use those sweat drops in the caption. And yeah, so I think if you are watching a game, watching a race, and it's super exciting, and I don't know, you're afraid that, I don't know, your team might lose, you might start to sweat on your hands, and that gets analyzed. And based on that data, those two do actually measure or predict how engaged you are. So this is basically taking fan engagement to a new level. Ron, what do you think? Is that cool? Is that not cool? Is that too much?
Yeah, I'm a bit dodgy. There was a lot of science in there, which yeah, I guess I understand how it works. But my main thing is who would do this? I'm curious about that. I mean, like who's sitting at home wearing a sensor? I mean, they have to incentivize the fan in a deep way with some free stuff, or give them something, give them a reason to put these devices on. That's my big question. Number one. Number two, I think there's also other ways to do it. We've seen camera-based devices do it. So we're just reading off the face. Maybe that's a simpler way. I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting way to gather more data.
I think the incentivizing part is key. I mean, if
Yeah.
you can show off that you're, I don't know, the most engaged fan because I don't know you're sweating the most, which is kind of gross. I mean, could be, hey, I'm the guy who sweats the most, right? So you have actual like physical proof that you are so tied to your club. Maybe that's a thing. I don't know.
Let's see. Let's see.
Yeah. Okay, that was me presenting topic number 5. Topic number 4. Now it's on you to go with number 3.
Yeah, number 3 is all about content, right? So we've seen a number of these platforms which produce interesting content. Now, for anybody who's checked out The Athletic, Players Tribune, which do original stories about athletes, like behind the scenes, uncovering what made that athlete great or some great story from their past. And it's really original, very interesting content. Now, what this product called is all about the student athlete. It was started by a couple of students from the University of North Carolina, and they want to tell those same stories, the same storytelling format, and bring it to college athletes who have their own audience. They're obviously huge superstars, especially on American campuses, maybe not so much in Europe and in Asia, but this is a big part of their life in the US. So telling the stories behind the athletes over there, I think is super powerful. Number one. Number two, it's part of a bigger trend that we're seeing. We've also seen other platforms like I think it's Together or Together XR. I don't know how they say it, but there's a content flow focused platform which is telling behind the scenes story. That's quite an interesting ad, by the way. Vaha is trying to sell us. Is that Grover trying to sell me something? But that's what happens when you share a webpage. But that's what the idea is, to tell the story behind the athlete. And we're seeing this trend in different segments. And this is another one segment which I think is interesting. Talking about the lives behind students. Ben, would you want to know more about what's going on?
Always. We're always searching
Always,
for
right?
more information. No, I mean it's a logic step. I mean, we have seen the big news recently that Overtime is announcing this college league in the US. So college sports gets lots of attention these days, and I think now lots of things will follow that we're used to from. I mean, if I say professional sports, I'm not saying it college sports, not professional, but more in the adult level. You know what I'm talking about. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think some of the stuff that is available for the leagues that we know will also become available for the leagues where we maybe know a bit less about. And this is just a logic step. Not surprised, good step, and I like that it's a bottom up thing. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, exactly. It started on 2 campuses. I think they've reached 6 campuses now, so it'll keep growing, I'm sure.
Yep. Today our order is a bit weird because you're always also presenting topic number 2, right?
Yeah, it's good. All set.
Go for
Speaking
it.
about content, and I did speak about women's football as a topic. There's another platform, SportsBuff, which does basically it helps with bringing live sports events to life. They have a lot of interactive tools that you can add on live sports feed. Now they are creating in partnership with the WSL that broadcasts for women's footballs have all of these cool interactive tools. So you can have either dedicated commentary lines, you can have odds or betting odds that get laid over the oops. Yeah, there you go. Is that the sports bar feed? Yeah, there you go. So sports bar does some really cool stuff on the existing sports feed, right? And now they're doing it for women's football, I said, which is really interesting because now it takes us like women's football and possibly brings it to wider audiences. I mean, women's football and women's sport in general is super topical. There's a lot of investment, a lot of money coming into women's sports, but I think these kind of tricks and tips is what will help take it to the next level. We've seen this happen in other areas, in betting, for example, right? We've seen customized broadcast feeds for focus purely on betting. And I think you're going to see this more and more. Different type of broadcasts depending on who the audience is. I think really good call by Sportsbuff. Ben, do you want to? Would you do? What would you want to see from a feed like this? I guess is the question.
First of all, that was me beautifully sliding in the Buff website so that you can
nice one.
Actually show that to the people who are still watching, right? And over this excitement, I forgot what questions you asked.
I was just asking what do you think would be special about a women's broadcast? Is it just the commentators who you would change? Is there some extra feed that you would bring in? I don't know, different types of experts.
No, I mean, I'm one of the guys who says, hey, it's the same. It doesn't matter if
exactly right.
Men or women play. But what I like is, and that's a big compliment. What we often see is that the rights holders in women's sports are more open and quicker to test things. And actually, from lots of startups that we talk to or work with, we get the feedback that it's much easier to get an appointment with the women's teams responsibles and test things there. So I'm not surprised that it's actually happening there, because SportBuff is a beautiful solution. As you can bring that screen up again, it looks cool. The founder is a super funny guy. We had him one of our shows, very sympathetic. So cool stuff happening there. Not surprised at all.
Yeah, cool piece of tech and a nice one. I like the focus on women. All right, that's us done. What is our top story for the week, Benjamin?
Yes, I have to do a little bridge because now I'm in trouble to bring up the no, all good. We are talking about collectibles.
Your favorite topic. I'll leave you to it.
Yes, but you should come back at some point. We are talking about collectibles, one of the topics in sports at the moment. Mostly it is about NFTs, so the digital version of those collectibles, the non-fungible tokens. We spoke about them, I think 2 weeks ago. I could speak about it every week because something's happening every week. But today we want to focus on the good old physical collectibles. And as you can see, there is a kind of new trading or sports card trading platform called Alt, which launches with a lot of funding. What do they do? Basically, not so much different than other trading platforms. You can see what is being sold. You can acquire it. Not a big thing. The interesting thing, though, is what exactly they are offering. So the details behind it. First of all, what they are doing well, in my opinion, and we have seen this in other offerings like StockX, the marketplace. They do the authenticating of those cards. So I assume you send those cards to Alt. They check the card. They say, yeah, it's an original or not. And they also say, hey, it's in mint condition or has some damages or whatever. So you as a buyer, you have your peace of mind so that you actually know that it's not a fake card. What they also offer, and that is a bit, I wouldn't say on the weird side, but on the interesting side, is that they offer to store your physical cards in a temperature and light controlled vault for a fee, obviously, right? Because you might be worried that those cards sitting in your basement or, I don't know, at your parents' place might not be so safe and that they might get damaged or lost or whatever, right? So speaking about ease of mind or peace of mind, you as a seller or owner, you know it's somewhere safe in a vault. What I find interesting, and I can discuss that in a minute with Ron, is I think then they're not so much different to the digital cards that we see lately so much, because you and your card, you're not even physically in the same location, even though you own that card. You don't even see that card anymore. That is really interesting, as I think. The other interesting thing is, and therefore I have to scroll a bit more. I mean, you can obviously show off your portfolio here. I think that's a very good and interesting move. Very important that you can say, hey, I'm a great guy because I know I have all those cards. But the interesting thing is that I try to make it a bit NFT-like, because they throw in a bunch of data. For example, they show your portfolio, they show every single card, they show the price development, maybe they're even able to show the previous owners. So all the good stuff that we get from NFTs, which is built in through blockchain technology, obviously, they try to attach that to those physical cards as well. And in my opinion, actually making them more digital than ever before. That I find interesting. Two more additional things on this platform. Kevin Durant is actually amongst those investors. He is very active investing in interesting startups. And what I've read as well is that sports cards is only the market entrance for alt. They also want to expand into watches, sneakers, and art. So basically what everybody is into right now, and where StockX is particularly well positioned already. Yeah, that is me talking about alt. My feeling is, and Ron, you can already come back. My feeling is that they're sort of digitalizing the physical cards. What is your take?
I mean, to me, I don't see a fundamental difference between either product. Either product is the primary use of it is almost the speculation of it. It's a collectible, right? So you don't really do much with it. Even whether you have a physical product or a digital product, all you can do is look at it. So whether you're looking on a screen or looking in your hand, I mean, so fundamentally the product, whether digital or physical, is not different. I think it's really cool to see. I mean, they're obviously riding this hype a bit. I mean, they didn't build this platform yesterday. Obviously, built it a long time back, but they're riding the hype that digital collectibles have built. And I think it's also really powerful that, hey, somebody can say, call up granddad and say, hey, listen, where is your attic? Can I go check it out? What am I going to find in there? Because you never know what you might find valuable. I think that is the trend, or that is something that you will start seeing happening more and more. I know I'll probably do it. If I don't think any of my granddads were sports fans, unfortunately for me, but some other people should get on that.
Yeah, sweet. That was our top topic. I wish collectibles would be top topic every week, but I don't have it all.
But no, Ben, now we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is cricket, right? That is what I was playing in India while I was away, and I'm going to bring that up. All right, so in our review for the week, we tested out this product called Spektacom. Spektacom, first of all, I have to introduce cricket to this predominantly non-Indian audience, I remember, if I understand correctly. But it's similar to baseball. There's a bat and a ball, and you hit it, and there's a ring that you have to play within. That's the basic stuff. It's 11 versus 11. Some basic outlines, which you can check out. Actually, Netflix has a really good episode on this, on their explained series. But basically, this product is a sticker that you attach to the bat. I think in the smaller video you might see it. But once it's attached to the bat, every time you hit it, it gives you all sorts of interesting data points, especially around how close the ball hits the meat of the bat. That's an important thing in cricket, which is basically the center. That's where there's the most amount of wood. It'll travel the farthest. You can see me playing a bit of cricket. I've lost a bit of touch, but that was so much fun. I should also mention that the company is run by Anil Kumble. Anil Kumble is a legend of Indian cricket. He's a Bangalore boy, which is where I spent most of my life. And he is like think of the biggest sportsman in whichever your favorite sports are, he is right up there. So when you have that level of endorsement on a product like this, I think it works really well. So Benjamin, when do we get you in some cricket nets?
First of all, I would be interested to test it. I never played cricket in my entire life.
Look at that! Look at that beautiful bat swing! Look at this guy smashing the ball out of the park. There we go.
I was impressed by him, honestly. I mean, I'm not who can say if somebody is good or not, but that looked like super easy, actually.
Yeah, he was good. I was not hitting it anywhere close to that far. No, these friends of mine, they've all played like cricket through the levels. They've represented states at junior, not played like at the highest elite level, but they played like really good levels. Which is why I kind of call them and say, hey, if you can't make me look good, at least make cricket look good, please.
But one question: Do you know if there is such a venue in Berlin? Can we even find a net to play?
I'm pretty sure there is. Everywhere I've gone, every city I've traveled to, there has always been. Turn that off. There's always been like a cricket team. First of all, there are Indians everywhere. There will be some cricket involved. Yeah, maybe I'll look it up. I'll go find something.
Sweet. And yeah, if you bring the the bets, then all is fine. Just one question, out of curiosity, did anyone get hurt during that video shoot or?
Well, Rishabh, who is one of our head of our research team, shall we say, he had a small incident. It was like a tiny moment. It's captured in the video, so you'll see it there.
Yeah, that would have been the moment where you should have said, "Oh, you should really see this." It was you wouldn't believe it. Yeah, clickbaiting we still have to practice.
That's good.
All right, and as always, we are finishing our live show. It's the 5th episode, by the way. Can we rate number 5 already? I think we should. And at the end of every episode, we come up with a topic that we find a bit funny, weird, odd, interesting. So to close off with something that we think is kind of cool. Let me bring that up. And purposely, I chose this page because the picture is already amazing. Props to whoever made that picture. So we have a scandal. We have a FIFA Ultimate Team scandal, my friend. You know what happened, right? So let me walk you through it. If you're good with FIFA, with playing FIFA, right? And you're really good, you're playing a lot, you're purchasing packs, you're completing reward challenges, whatever, then you earn those rare Ultimate Team cards, or you have a chance to earn them through gameplay. This is the important part. But, and here comes the scandal, there is at least one EA employee that has been selling rare footballers to some of the players for over $1,000 in total. Scandal, right? And as you can see, those deals took place over WhatsApp. Yeah, so there's this guy within EA. He is, I don't know, spreading out the message here and there through WhatsApp saying, hey, I can actually give you some Ultimate Team players for cash, which happened then. All right. So the thing is that of course a lot of pressure on EA side. And let me share some other screen with you. They officially released this little note, an update on player item investigations. It all looks very mysterious already. So they say they're super sorry. They were made aware of that something bad has happened. And they said, okay, they will take action against any employee found to have been engaging in this activity. And all of those items will be removed from the ecosystem, and all those players who bought those cards will be banned permanently for life. But what is interesting, actually, what I didn't know before, that it was actually made possible because of a thing called content granting. So EA Sports actually has the option to give out cards to players without them having earned them. And there are 3 cases of this. A worldwide customer experience. So I don't know, if you bought something went wrong, they obviously have the chance to give you a card. Secondly, for testing reasons. And thirdly, because they work with so many celebrities, athletes, partners, employees, they can actually grant you some of those cards. And this is the loophole that at least one employee of EA Sports used that as a background. But they say, let me quickly bring that up again. Where do I have this? Which I also found interesting. Less of 0.0006% of the total player items in the FIFA 21 ecosystem are actually granted. So typically there are not too many cards. That is our interesting, odd, strange news of the week. Ron, what are your thoughts?
Man, I can imagine that moment when the guy realized he could do this. The employee, he was like, man, I think I can make some money with this shit. And that's what he did. Like, I mean, that guy points to him for ingenuity. Like, because the threshold is so low that I guess he figured that it can ride under the radar for a while. But think about the pressure for FIFA also, for EA Sports, by the way, to catch this, I think is pretty cool. However, it was a leak through the press, I believe, or basically some guy reported him in. Just shows how competitive it is. I mean, people spend thousands of dollars to buy these athletes. I think R9 Ronaldo was at $2,500. I saw him quoting in one of the messages. So people spend a lot of money. So first of all, I have some sympathy for the guy. Like, he took advantage of an opportunity. Maybe he shouldn't have done it as much as he did. I don't know, man. It's pretty it's pretty good. I love how people are spending this much money on video games. It's insane.
I might want to overthink my business relationship with you.
Man, I'll always give props to smart guys. You did it wrong, but it was kind of smart.
Okay. Yeah, guys, that is it. That is episode number 5 of Hello Sports Tech live in 30 minutes. Pretty much on spot on time. Yeah, see you next time. Same day, same time for episode number 6. Anything left to say, Ron?
Nothing. Goodbye.
Adios. Ciao.